The president this morning on social media, it looks like we've lost India and Russia for that matter to deepest, darkest China. May they have a long and prosperous future together.
And the Cryptoteacher birthday is when? That's right, September 7th. And the 7th life paths we know, that's when the smartest people are born. Do not hate. Congratulate. Make sure you're sending those shout outs, and also make sure you're ringing that cash app, because the Cryptoteacher is partying all weekend. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you.
Holding above $110,000 a coin, the SEC unveiling its revamped regulatory initiatives for the space, including new potential rules around the offer and sale of crypto assets to, quote, provide greater certainty to the market. SEC Chair Paul Atkins stressing that a key priority of his chairmanship is clear rules of the road for the issuance, custody, and trading of crypto assets.
This relationship between the US and India has clearly soured. You yourself said earlier this year that India rubbed the US the wrong way. There's an understandable tension that continues to build, but they're not the only ones buying Russian energy. The Chinese are buying Russian energy, and for that matter, the Europeans too. And I think there's a sense from the Indian side, Mr. Secretary, that they feel singled out, perhaps unfairly. What's your comment, your message for them this morning?
Well, remember, before the Russian conflict, the Indians bought less than 2% of their oil from Russia. Less than 2%. And now they're buying 40% of their oil from Russia. What they're doing is, because the oil is sanctioned, it's really, really cheap because the Russians are trying to find people to buy it. And so the Indians have just decided, the heck with it. Let's buy it cheap and make a ton of money. But you know what? That is just plain wrong. It's ridiculous. And they either need to decide which side they want to be on. You know, what's funny is, remember, the Chinese sell. The Chinese, well, we're always willing to talk. The Chinese sell to us. The Indians sell to us. They're not going to be able to sell to each other. We are the consumer of the world. People have to remember, it's our $30 trillion economy that is the consumer of the world. So eventually they all have to come back to the customer, because we all know eventually the customer is always right.
When you are talking with India, Mr. Secretary, I know a lot of companies in the U.S. have shifted manufacturing to India from China, so there's a real interest in this in terms of their costs. How much do you feel like you've lost leverage as a result of the court case that came out fairly recently?
We haven't lost anything with respect to the court case. If you look at the dissent, right, it was 7-4. Read the dissent. The current Chief Justice sided with President Trump. The former Chief Justice sided with President Trump. And the incoming Chief Justice sided with President Trump. And the smartest guy on the bench, which is well known who the smartest guy on the bench is, he sided with Donald Trump. So I think you are going to see the Supreme Court side with Donald Trump. And I don't think we've lost leverage. What we've lost is that India doesn't yet want to open their market, stop buying Russian oil, right? And stop being a part of Brics, right? They're the vowel between Russia and China. If that's who you want to be, go be it. But either support the dollar, support the United States of America, support your biggest client, who is the American consumer, or I guess you're going to pay a 50% tariff. And let's see how long this lasts.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And that post from Trump lets us know the plan is speeding up. And I've received plenty of messages from those on my Patreon saying that the plan is moving a whole lot faster than they ever thought. But we can definitely see it picking up. And guess what? They don't have too many roadblocks, because we know the sheep stay asleep and they stay distracted on things that don't matter. And by the time they wake up, the fourth industrial revolution is going to be here. Now, thanks for all the shout outs already and the Cash App hits. Keep it coming. Guys, I'm partying all weekend, even though I'm an old man. Now we have the SEC is ready to lay out the rules of the road, and we know why. Like Trump told the big tech guys, he's going to help them out and make it easier to build this fourth industrial revolution. Now we have Lucknick on the Brics, says India needs to leave the Brics ASAP. But remember, this is a plan and moves in phases. You have India and China are about to bring their poverty up to middle class. And remember, the United States is going to lose that world reserve currency while we go to a level playing field. And don't forget the Cryptoteacher told you a long time ago and wrote about it a long time ago. And then also he talks about the tariff drama. And we know all we have to do is sit back, get our popcorn, let it play out. But we definitely know they need this tariff money because the people are going to be sitting at home getting that free money. They'll no longer be paying income tax if they're not working. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we don't hear Lucknick or Besson talking about the trillions that we still have left to refinance. Now, they did a lot of it at the beginning of the year, and that's the reason why we had that big rumble. But we still got a lot left, and that's why we know a black swan is right around the corner. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we have BlackRock's Rick Reeder saying that the housing market is stuck. But we know who's responsible for that. That's right, the Fed and our own government. They squeeze these prices so high that they're not even affordable. Now layoffs are picking up, and we have the millennials and Generation Z are just sitting at home with mom and dad. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we can clearly see things are about to change in the U.S. because now we have RFK Jr. pointing out that Tylenol and folate deficiencies are linked to autism. And as we can see, we're starting to get more and more truth, things that we already knew, but of course, only thing they have to do is dump them in the conspiracy theory and people leave it alone. But as we know, these things are coming out as facts. And as technology starts to pick up, we're going to be going into a knowing society where everybody's going to know whether it's fact or fiction. And that's the reason why the masses have to be controlled, because they're going to learn that everything that they thought they knew was a complete lie. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Are you saying that you agree with the president on that front? And if that's the case, what's the risk that the long end continues to rise and doesn't solve the problem that rate cuts are supposed to address?
So it's a great question. So the first thing I would say, the housing market is stuck. Whether it's building permits, mortgage applications, new home sales, housing starts, we're at levels like in the 60s, similar to the 60s and 70s when the population is roughly double the size. Housing market is stuck. What does that mean? You create a dynamic in the economy where people, if you want job mobility in a tougher job market, it's harder to move because you can't sell your house, particularly if you have a 3% mortgage. We need to bring down housing costs. We need to bring down affordability of homes. By the way, I've argued this on this show many times. If through the funds rate mechanism, the mortgage rate comes down, and I'll get to the other part of your question. If you bring the mortgage rate down, you'll actually build more homes in this country so home builders don't have to subsidize the mortgage. You actually bring down shelter inflation, which has been sticky. Your point is well taken. Listen, as an investor, we like the front of the belly of the yield curve because you have, like today, could you have a steepening of the curve? Listen, there's a series of tools that the Treasury can implement, a series of tools that the Fed can implement to be thoughtful about how do you manage further out the yield curve as opposed to just we move the funds rate in moderate increments. There's a lot of tools at play to try and contain where the back-end interest rates are.
that HHS is set to release a report that will link autism to Tylenol use during pregnancy, and that is according to people familiar with the matter. Now, this is a long-awaited report. If you remember, Secretary Kennedy has been talking about how his administration is seeking to find the root cause of autism. This has been a question that people have wondered for years and years, and he's been promising by September that we'll get that answer, and now the Wall Street Journal is saying that according to the people they've talked to, they're going to link it to both the use of Tylenol during pregnancy and also folate deficiencies. Now, we've reached out to Kenvue that makes Tylenol. We have yet to hear back, but Kenvue telling the Wall Street Journal that nothing is more important to us than the health and safety of the people who use our products. We have continuously evaluated the science, and we continue to believe that there is no causal link between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and autism. But
going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China. But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy. And you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, if new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.